Hi there, I'm Selma Jacinto Domingos, your host. I'm an author, a speaker, a leadership educator, and a life changer coach. Welcome to Selma Success TV to empower you to change your life for the better. Today, we will talk about how to choose a new path. And today, I have my special guest, my friend, Samantha. So he will really take over today because he will do a presentation about how to choose a new path on your life based in his life experience. He has a very inspiring story. He's a student, he works, and he's learning how to be a real estate investor. So, wow, this is amazing because you have someone that do three things at the same time, and it's very inspiring because he's very young, and as we know, life can be very busy and you can have so many challenge and obstacle. And when you find someone that can find the balance to work, start, and still invest in himself, really, it's very inspiring. So you really have a very inspiring story here. So stay with us so you can, be part of our conversation. And we are here to help you with wherever we can. So I will give the mic to my friend Sam and stay there, my friend. So, hi, Sam. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm really excited for our conversation today and for you to take the next step, the next level, of this wonderful conversation. So I will put you as the host so you can start and share your screen. Yeah, let me do this. Make you host. Yeah,
All right.
yes.
There we go. All right. So today's episode is how to choose a new path in life. Now, I put together this presentation just to kind of, you know, give like a visual aspect so people can really follow along and take notes and use this presentation to their own advantage. So let's start it off. Yeah. All right. The first step is figure out where you are. I've had a lot of people come and ask me, give them pointers, give them advice on how to change what they're doing and get to where they want to be. And the common saying I always have is the first step to change is admitting you need to change. I think that's really hard for people to do is, they think that they're all of that. They let their ego and ignorance get to their head. And they think they're not doing anything wrong. And, once they finally can, you know, figure out that they're not where they want to be at and can admit that they want to change what they're doing, that's the first step. And that to me, that's usually the hardest. A lot of people can't put their pride to the side, their ego to the side, and admit that, they have some things they want to work on. So, so admitting that you want to change bad habits or flaws about yourself is the most important beginning step to choosing a new path in life. Figuring out where you are so you can plan where you want to be. So, and step two is to figure out where you want to be. So, it's whether you're sleeping late, you want to be healthier, more educated, or have a specific goal in mind. It's always good to make a plan for where you want to be. So, the two things I always recommend to everybody is, heavy research and having an action plan. You can't just choose you want to go somewhere and not do the research to get there. It takes a lot of time to really sit down and figure out how you're going to get to where you want to be and doing the research on it. One example I have is like if you want to be healthy, you have to research the foods that you want to eat, the kind of workouts you want to do in the gym. If you have a specific career or education you want, you have to research the classes you'll need to take and how you obtain the career you want. So, those are two major important things. I really tried to make this PowerPoint really to the general audience. A lot of people want to have different plans for their life. A lot of people want to go be an entrepreneur. A lot of people want to go to school get a good education, get the career they want. You know, a lot of people want to go in the trades. So I really tried to base this around, you know, the general type because this works for everybody. It doesn't matter, you know, what you want to do in your life. This will work for you if you really just take it seriously and get on it. So, two types of action plans that I really use in my day to day are my daily action plan and my overall action plan. So, I'm gonna get into the specifics of that. And the step three is creating the action plan. So, you know, an action plan is specific to you and only to you. A lot of people have tried to ask me, you know, what do you do when you wake up? What do you do throughout your day? And I try to tell them, I'm like, man, what I do may not work for you. So, you know, one of my goals is to read 50 pages a day. And when I first started reading, that was a struggle. I I never read much in high school. In fact, I don't think I read a single book in high school. I think I went on the internet and looked up a summary of the book, and that's what I did for all my projects. I didn't read a single page of a book. So, you know, so when I tell somebody, you know, read these books, I don't expect them by the next week to have that book read. I don't expect much from them. I know going through that change is hard, and especially when you're trying to get on your grind and really get into that change, it's difficult at first. I read the 48 Laws of Power, and that book is 400 pages, and that book took me like 6 months to get through. That was the first book I picked up when I actually started getting into reading. So I don't expect much from people. It's all one day at a time. So I try to tell people, you know, it's a struggle, but stay on track with that goal. You know, um, how I would define an overall action plan is major goals that you have. You know, what you want to accomplish in 1 year, what you want to accomplish in 5 years, and what you want to accomplish in 10 years. So, and that could be anything from, you know, your own personal accomplishments to your own education or health or whatever it may be. You know, I think it's always good to have this stuff written down and have it in view at all times, just so you know what you're working for. You know, I always have my overall action plan, and it's outrageous goals, stuff that might take me more than 10 years to accomplish. But I have it written down, so I know that when I wake up every day, it's the first thing that I see, and it's the last thing I see before I go to sleep. I think it's always good to have these major goals planned out, just so you know what you're working hard for. I think a lot of people when they don't write down their goals and they start, you know, getting to work every single day trying to accomplish something, they forget what they're trying to accomplish. So having that written down and having that reminder at all times, it really helps you figure out what you're working towards. And a daily action plan is just everything you're doing every single day to get to where you want to be. So for me, it was reading 50 pages a day. For me, it was flossing my teeth more because I wasn't doing that, and they told me that at the dentist, you need to floss more. It's the little things that you do throughout the day to get to where you want to be at, and that's the thing too is to get to that overall goal, you have to start small. So I try to tell people you got to plan out every single day, every single day. So having those daily action plan, it really helps out a lot. I'm not really one that likes to use a computer all the time and reminders. I like pen and pencil, that kind of stuff. So I write down my stuff on, you know, on paper just so I can see it. You know, I think and I put it up on my whiteboard just so I can look over at it at all times. I don't really like to do, you know, reminders on my phone of what I need to do every day. I like to have it written down and I put it right under my glasses. So right when I wake up and I grab my glasses, it's right there what I need to do. And I cross it off as I go. So having your daily action plan, what you want to do when you wake up and have everything down. Even if it's something small, flossing your teeth, that's something small. That's something that should be a daily part of my life, but having that written down, I can see it and go do it. And I don't have to remind myself all the time. I always have it right there. I think that, you know, the little stuff people tend to forget to do. So having it written down really helps out a lot. So so figuring out where you want to be at. No, the first one was figuring out where you are. figuring out where you want to be at, and then creating the plan. So I got mixed up right there with my steps. I went step two to step one. So figuring out where you are, where you want to be at, and creating the plan to get where you want to be at. That's the three main things. But I can't forget number four. Number four, I think number one and number four are the two hardest things to get to. You know, it's hard for people to put their pride to the side and say, I need to change. That's really, really hard. But another really hard thing is sticking to it. You know, I've had my days where I've, fallen off course, wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I had a plan to eat healthier, and then I would find myself, not going to the grocery store, not getting what I needed, and eating out. So I had to get back on track. You know, for a lot of people my age, I think the main problem is they start off Monday, they plan out what they're gonna do for the week. They plan out, all right, when I get my check in from my job, this is what I'm gonna do with my money. I'm gonna make sure I get my homework done, all this and that, and then Friday night rolls around and they go out with their friends. They spend their whole check. They waste the whole weekend away. They get nothing done. Then Monday rolls around, rinse and repeat. I think a lot of people, make those daily action plans, and then come the weekend, and it all falls apart, and then they're back at square one. That would definitely was me, making that plan and then it falling out over the weekend. So I really had to get on top of that. Uh, Sticking to it definitely is difficult, and my advice is just constant reminders. Like I said, writing stuff down. Always having it like right under my glasses. So right when I wake up, I put my glasses on, look at that piece of paper, what I need to do. So another thing is I would say, like I said, when you wake up, let it be the first thing you see. Before you go to sleep, let it be the last thing you see. Just so you always have that reminder of what you need to do. So, but one thing I really do is I have a calendar on deck at all times of what I need to do throughout the week. I plan my whole month in advance. So I write down appointments that I have, meetings that I have, phone calls I need to make, people I need to see. My whole thing is planned out. I usually tell people, talk to my assistant, but my assistant is me. If you need to plan something out, talk to my assistant. I tell people it's like if I have something scheduled, it's like I can't let that go. So I always tell people don't come at me last second with plans that you want to do. Don't come at me, Saturday evening saying, "Hey, let's go do this Saturday night," when I got something else planned to go do Saturday night, because I'm going to tell you no. I tell people like you gotta let me know a month in advance, because once I bring up that next month calendar and I start, filling it out with stuff I need to do, it's like you gotta make an appointment within that month with me, because if not, I'm gonna tell you no if I got something else planned. So I think having everything planned out is definitely where I think a lot of people should be at. It really helps out a lot. Staying organized. I keep everything organized, everything filed, everything in order, and that really helps me out a lot. And I think that would help out a lot of people, especially with people who are in school. If you plan out when your assignments are due, that helps out a lot. If you want to eat healthier, planning out what your cheat day is going to be, planning out what days of the week you're going to go to the gym, what time you're going to go to the gym, you know, and just having everything planned out to a T is definitely perfect. But I think the hardest thing is people have a hard time sticking to it. They fall off a lot, and one thing I always tell people is, don't beat yourself up if you know have a really good week, you accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish, and then next Monday rolls around and you feel like you got nothing done. So it's like sometimes people fall off. I've had months where for a week straight, I was on the ball, I was getting things done, and then the rest of the month it was a complete mess. So it's like I tell people all the time, it's like you're human, you're gonna make mistakes. You just gotta pick yourself back up and keep going. I was like, I may have had a bad 3 weeks, but at least for 1 week of that month, I did good. Let's hope next month I can have 2 weeks where I'm doing good and 2 weeks where I'm doing bad. And then the month after that, 3 weeks where I'm doing good, and then 1 week where I'm doing bad. But if you have to start at square one again, start at square one again. But just keep going. Just keep going. That's my advice to everybody is just keep going. So that's my presentation I got. Anything you want to add to that?
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing, Sam. And you mentioned a lot of things so important. Um, a lot of people, they are like very struggling to try to find like the right action plan or how to stick to their plans or what is like the first thing they should do. And you mentioned that the first thing is really, you know, to focus on your goals and what you really want in your life. Because when you know what you really want out of your life, then you know what kind of step you should take to achieve your goals. And I like when you mentioned that, if it doesn't work the first time, doesn't mean that you should giving up. You really should pick up yourself again and keep going, because that's what's make a difference between winners and losers. Because winners, when they fall back, they still keep going. If the plan doesn't work the first time, didn't work the first time, then they pick back up again, and then they start going and they keep going until they achieve their goals. But sometimes a lot of people, when they fall down, they stay down, and they should not, they should trying to change the way they think about the struggling, the obstacle, the challenge that they have, so they can make themselves feel that, okay, it's okay, to not doing the right thing on the first time. It is okay. But what will really make the difference is how you choose to respond on what just happened, because you already missed one goal, you already missed one time, you already wake up late, you already missing thing. But how do you choose to respond of the things you are missing in the life? That's what really will make the difference between your event and how you respond, so you can have an outcome that you want in your life. And also, Sam, I like when you mentioned, about ego. We can see our egos in two different ways. So our egos is with us for two ways, in my experience. One, to protect your integrity, your authenticity, your values. And on the other side is to tell you, oh, wow, no, you should do this. You should keep doing what you are doing because everyone is doing. So you really need to pay attention to your ego. What are the answer? And for you to pay attention to how your ego is working with you and not against you, it's really to focus on what are your values, what kind of values you value the most in your life. If it's respect, integrity, authenticity, your ego will work with you and for you to help you protect your value. But when you are more, worrying about what other people will think about you, that's when your ego start working against you. So I love that you really mentioned, the ego side. And I also like that you mentioned about a daily action plan. Oh, this is really great. This is amazing, because a daily action plan helps you keeping track on your goals and dreams and what you have. And I like also that you have an assistant, which is you. I do
Hmm.
sometimes the same way, using myself an assistant and help me keep on track of my goals and my dreams. So I don't have like to feel like overwhelming, like I'm the only one doing everything, but instead I also have an assistant. This is I like that. And what I found out is that, and you also mentioned this, that a lot of people, they are like very struggling to keep their daily action plan. And it is okay to not doing everything right at the same time, because everything that is good takes time. It's a process. Doesn't mean that you will keep doing your daily plan like in the first time, the first week. No, takes at least 30 days. And now there is like a new research in one of the university in England. I believe they says they maybe 60 days or something. I need to research the right number, but takes more than 30 days for a goal or for an action become a habit. So you really need to have so much discipline on yourself. And I love this principle from Jack and Phil, where he says that if you really want to change your life, you need to take 100% responsibility for your life. Because when you take 100% responsibility for your life, it's mean that you will not blame anyone for your mistakes. And you stop blaming, you stop making excuse, and you stop finding, procrastinating, and you really just assume that you are the only one responsible for all your response, for all your outcome. Because problems we will have all the time. I used to say to my students, when I was teaching at university, that we will have problems all the time. It's just part of our lives, obstacling and challenge. But how you choose to respond on the problems that you have, that's when you make the real impact in your life. That's really when you see, oh, if I couldn't do this, how should I respond, you know, to this problem that I have? For example, let's say you should be on time to work, let's say at 8 a.m. and you are late because there was a traffic. And you go to the job and you start blaming everyone. You start blaming the traffic. You start blaming your colleagues. You start saying that maybe your boss doesn't understand that there was a traffic, and you feel sad and you feel overwhelming. You feel upset. The event is that you are already late. Let's say in a positive way. Let's say instead of you complaining about the traffic and getting upset with your coworkers, or with the weather or anything else, and you think to yourself, "Oh, okay, I'm already late, so I should say sorry." And you go to your boss and say, "I'm so sorry, I'm late. I apologize, and I will try, to make sure next time I'm on time for the work." And then you start thinking to yourself, "Oh, I should wake up a little early next time so I don't get on the traffic." So changing your response will give you a different outcome that will really help you, achieving your goals. Sam, I don't know if you want to add anything else.
Yeah, on what you just said, um, one of the quotes I live, I don't know exactly how the quote goes. It's part of stoicism, but it's basically only worrying about things you can control. Like you said with traffic, you can't control traffic,
Mhm.
so it's best just don't worry about it. When you get to where you're going, whether it be class, whether it be work, you apologize and you move on. And that's one thing I always try to live by. Uh, Especially at work, it can get very stressful working night shift. Always worrying about, whether or not I'll get fired. Of course, my job is a very high stress job. Uh, I I weigh the cans that go on the planes, and if the can is not weighed right, the worst possible thing that can happen is the plane could be off balance and that plane could crash.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that's a really high stress job. Of course, we got a lot of things in the way of that to make sure that that does not happen, but it's a high stress job. So they take it making sure that everyone's on point at all times. So anytime I feel like if I were to mess up and I were to lose my job, I take it as it is. I don't stress about it. When I first got onto that position, I was always worried, always full of stress and anxiety, just thinking, "Oh my God, did I mess up? Did I mess up?" And now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, if I messed up, I know someone else caught it. I know I'm gonna get in trouble for it. I'm gonna take it as it is, and I'm gonna move on from it. So, and another thing you said is not worrying about what other people think. That's one of the main reasons why I got off social media and why I, distanced myself from old friend groups was just because I don't want to see what anybody else is doing. I'm not worried about what anybody else is doing. People I went to high school with, people I was used to be friends with. I'm in my own lane, and I want to know where I'm going. So I don't want to get on social media and see how good everybody else is doing, how bad everybody else is doing, where everyone else is. I don't want to compare myself to them. I don't want to see what they're doing. One of my coworkers told me last night that she would get on Instagram and she'd see everybody's down in Florida for spring break, and it's like I'm glad I don't see that because of course, being in Florida would probably be fun, but
Yeah,
at the same time, I know I have work to do here,
yeah.
and I could care less what anybody else is doing. They're on spring break. That's cool. Let them have their spring break, but I'm gonna be in my own lane. I'm not gonna sit there and daydream about doing what other people are doing, going on spring break, having a new car, whatever anybody else is doing. I don't want to worry about it. I want to be in my own lane and see what I'm doing. So
And you do great, Sam. You really do, because that's meaning you are focused on yourself. You are focused, on achieving your goals. You are sticking to your goals, and you are investing in your future, in yourself, and this is so, so important when you start working on your goals, because you need to really be aware that the first one to focus on yourself, it's you, no one
yes,
else. And I have this quote. I don't remember where I heard. I can't remember where, but say this way, or you work now and play later, or you play now and work later. I always love it, this quote. And I tell my kids like all the time. Now they are a little growing, but I used to tell a lot to my kids, to helping them focus also in school. I was like, okay, you can do all the other things, but remember, if you work now, if you focus on your goals and school and the things that you are doing to help you grow, then you can play. When I say play, it's like then you can have more freedom, the life that you want, because you already organizing your life and you're already like playing from the beginner. Instead of, a lot of people, what's happened with so many people is like when they are like younger, they have so much energy, they focus on the wrong things. And then when they grow, that's when they will have to work harder because they lose so many times in their lives, if that makes sense.
that's definitely true. I think one word that I don't really hear a lot these days is passion.
Yes.
I'm working on an essay right now for
Hmm.
myself. It's not for any class. It's just something that's been on my mind, and I want to be able to put it into words and be able to, share it with people. I don't know what the name of the essay is going to be yet. I've been, adding notes to it and getting everything ready. But the reason I've been trying to develop this essay is I have one in-person class for college,
Mhm.
and there's 20 people in the class. There's 4 people with A's, there's 6 people with B's or C's, and there's 10 people who are failing.
Wow.
And every time I go into that class, there's only 10 people in class. So I can pretty much guess who's failing the class, but
Yeah.
every time I go in, I see how upset my professor is at the fact that so many people are failing. I know that he really wants everyone to at least pass and get to where they're going. Um, and I want to be able to give him this essay that I'm writing. Uh, he talks so much about motivation and people working hard, but the one word he has not said this whole semester is passion. And I
Mm.
want to be able to tell him that,
Yes.
you can tell people, you
Yes.
can try to motivate them, you can try to curve the grades, you can try to give extra credit, but if people don't want to do this, you can't force them. If they don't have the passion
Yes.
to do this, you can't force them. It's like if they don't want to show up to class, you can't make them. There's no amount of extra credit. There's no amount of motivation. It all comes from within. I part of my essay and one of my notes I have for it is school is 1% teachers and 99% you.
Yeah, I
It's like
agree.
the teachers can give you all of the materials. They can teach it, they can give extra credit, they can curve the grades, they can do whatever. But when it all comes down to it, you're the one doing the work. And if you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. And I feel so I feel so bad for my teacher just because I see how hard he's trying, and I just want to be able to tell him like, man, these people obviously don't have the passion for this, and there's nothing you can do to make them pass unless you want to go in the grade book and give them an A for every assignment they didn't do. You can't make them do it. You can't follow them home after class and make sure they do it. They don't want to do it, they're not going to do it, and it is what it is. But I know that I have a passion for learning, and part of that class in the first week, he asked the question, "Why are you here?" And he said, "Put one sentence," and I did 3 words. I said, I said, "I want to learn." That's it. I
Beautiful.
want to learn. And it's like I know that the class is basically just you trying to figure out your career. I know a lot of people know what they want to do, so they don't really take the classes seriously, knowing what they want to do. But I just want to learn, and I know I take every single class seriously. It could be underwater basket weaving. I'll take that class seriously because I'm learning something. So I have the passion to learn, not just the passion to achieve my goals, not just the passion to follow my daily action plan. I have the passion to learn any and everything, any information anybody has to give to me, whether it be about something that I completely don't care about, whether it be something that's beneficial to me. I want to listen. I want to learn. So
Oh, this is great, Sam. And this is really the way how you grow. You just said everything. Because when you have this an open mindset to learn, in the classes, in the books that you find, you will always find something new to learn. And what I also learned on my life experience is that even if you read the same book or you hear the same teacher over and over and over, you will always find a new thing on the same book, the same reading that you are doing on the same teacher. You will always find something different that will help you because our life, we have like different stages, you know. Sometimes we are working different purpose, sometimes we are working different goals, sometimes we have different experience. And as we grow, we change also a little bit our perspective, you know, the goals and the things that we should be doing. So, and you be able to have this open mind to learn really helps you. to build more confidence on yourself and choose your goals wisely and stick to your goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is really one of the greatest things that you can do with your life. And Sam, how would you like tell someone, from your life experience? I know maybe you already mentioned this, but there is still like a lot of people, um, really struggling to figure out a new path in their lives, and they have no idea where to start. And if they would ask you just one thing, like one first step to help them get started, which step should be?
Uh, the one thing that I always tell everybody to do, no matter for me with real estate,
Mhm,
a big part of it is networking. But I tell everybody that everything that you want to do, there's people who also want to do it, and there's people who are already doing it.
mhm,
So I tell them network with those people. It doesn't matter what you want to do, where you want to go, unless you want to go do something that nobody else in the world is doing. Go find people who are doing it. Especially here in Louisville, there's a lot of people here. A lot of people here have similar goals. Find people who have the same goals as you. And that's the thing too is I have a lot of people that I know who want to get into music. I'm not a big music person. I don't know how to play any instruments. I don't know how to do anything like that. I tell them there's people in the city who know how to do it. Go find them, connect with them, bounce ideas off them. Find someone who's been doing what you want to do for years. Ask them if they can mentor you. Ask questions. Find someone who's doing specifically what you want to do. Find people who are trying to do what you want to do. Form a group with them and bounce ideas off each other. That'll take you so far. For me, it's like I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't know the people that I knew in real estate. If I didn't go to the meetups, if I didn't take that risk, and it was scary. It's scary to go talk to new people. It's scary to go and ask people for pointers and ask them for help. But once you get over that fear, it seems like it's so easy. I think that, when you can go and talk to people who have the similar goals as you, it makes life just so much easier. And I know a lot of people have a hard time finding that, but I tell them, Eventbrite, meetup.com, Facebook, all these different things, that's where you can go to find people. There's so many different groups, so many forums, so many different places you can go to find people who are doing what you want to do. So that's the most important thing I tell people to do. It's like because people come to me and they'll say, "Hey, I'm doing this. How can I grow that? I want to do music. How can I grow that?" And I'm like, "Man, I don't know anything about music. Like I can't help you in that sector. But what I can tell you is just go find people in that sector and ask them those questions because they can for sure help you. If you have a question about real estate, more than likely I can answer that question. But when it comes to anything else other than real estate or business or anything like that, man, I can't help you with it. But I'm telling you, there's so many different outlets that you can go to that will help you. So networking is the most important thing, and it takes going to do the research. It takes going out and finding it, finding those groups, finding the Facebook groups, the forums, going on Eventbrite, finding local people who have meetups, and you can go to those meetups about anything. So if you want to go be a doctor, man, go find people who are doctors and ask them questions. Where did they go to school? What did they learn? Uh, and that helps you build connections. I've built so many connections in real estate by being able to go talk to people and getting my name out there. If you can go get your name out there in music, go get your name out there being a doctor, you have so many recommendations from people. People say, I know this guy, he came and talked to me, came and asked me questions, and that'll take you so much farther. That's the most important thing that I have to say.
Yes, having the right connection, trying to find the peoples that will help you to get where you want to be. Oh, that's gold. That's really gold, Sam. That's you are so right. And sometimes we just waste, we have the tendency to waste so much of our time finding the wrong person. We know what we want to do, but we are wasting our time finding the right person on or asking the question to someone that is not on the place where we want to be. And yeah, you really, the things that you say is just makes so clear how important it's like for you to find the right person for you to achieve your goals. So, and I think everyone should, follow um, this guidance, because that's what's the thing that will help you get faster where you want to be. And you also mentioned about writing down your goals, because now we have a lot of technology, computers, iPads, phones and everything. But you mentioned that you prefer to write down, in a paper instead of writing. If someone is like asking, oh, but I already write everything on my phone, what's make you see the big difference between writing on a paper and writing on maybe on the technology? Or what's like your motivation really to write? I just want to go a little bit over in this, to write down your goals and your action plan on the paper.
Well, I think when people put stuff in their phone, it gets mixed up with all the other notifications. When you wake up in the morning and you look at your phone, you got emails, you got text messages, you got all these other different things from different apps that reminder for your daily action step just gets mixed up in it. But when you have it written down on a single piece of paper sitting on your desk, it's like that's an eye catcher. All my notes that I have are like neon color, they stand out.
And I
So
see some of their
it catches my eye right when I first wake up because I'm able to see this stuff. But when you look at your phone, it's just a jumbled up mess of notifications that you're getting. It's easy to just open your phone and then not remember to check it. But when you get that piece of paper right there with everything written down, you can't help but look at it.
Mhm.
It makes it so much easier to look at it. And I make it a goal not to be on my phone when I first wake up. I turn my phone off for like the first hour of the day. I wake up, I go get in the shower, brush my teeth, get ready for the day. So I like I said before, I force myself to focus. I force myself to look at that piece of paper because that's the only thing on my desk. The computer's closed, the phone is off. That's the only thing right there. I have to look at it. And like you said, it takes 30 to 60 days to be able to get into a good habit. So getting into that habit of checking that piece of paper right when I wake up, I'm gonna start doing that every single day. And I'm not gonna stop doing it. So figuring out the priorities. Uh, one thing I printed this out. I'm gonna take it down. I have it right here up on my whiteboard. I have it right here. It says
Do you
fake
want,
work
yeah, do you want
versus
to
real
stop
work.
sharing so you can show in a big screen your board?
Uh, well, I don't have I can get this sent to you, but
No,
I don't
I'm
have like a
saying,
picture.
yeah, I'm saying the screen sharing. If you stop sharing, maybe we can see in a bigger.
Oh,
Yes. Oh, wonderful.
there we go.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it says fake work versus real work.
Oh, I
And
like
this was
that.
something that
Exactly.
I did so much and it described me perfectly. So like fake work, a long morning routine. I mean, I would take an hour a day in the morning when I wake up to get ready for the day. And I shouldn't have to take an hour to get ready for the day. To wake up and get myself ready, it should only take like 30 minutes. And then another thing is reading so many books to feel like you're making progress. I would read so many books and then get done with the book and not take anything away from it. just to be able to say I read this book. If you're gonna read a book and you're not gonna take anything away from it, don't read the book. You know, there's so many great books out there, and people want to say I want to read this book, but it's like if you're not gonna get anything out of it, don't read it. And then like and another thing is planning all day because it's easier to say than do. It's like I plan out my day, but it doesn't mean anything if I'm not doing it. Like I said, with writing things down on your phone,
Yes.
and it gets mixed up in your other notifications. What's the point of writing it down if you're not going to check it? If you're not going to do what you're trying to do? That's why I don't get on my phone the first hour when I wake up, is because I'm not getting done what I need to get done. I need to check what I'm doing and start on it. I don't need to have this long morning routine. Um, and the difference between fake work and real work is, with real work, you read fewer books, but actually apply the lessons. That's one thing I do with all my books. With your book, I did that specifically is I marked pages. I took notes on those pages and stuff that really stuck with me after I read it. I made sure I marked it down. And then uh, another thing is drafting a quick plan. That's another thing.
Mhm.
Making a plan. That's important. And then start right away and then take breaks. That's what I do. I wake up, I get myself ready, and I start. If I need to take a break, I take a break. I don't know if I showed you that before. I got that little phone jail. I put my phone in and I set a timer on it. I
The
take
one that
breaks.
you put your phone inside and then you just, I think you have a locker or something like that. This one?
Yep. I
Yeah,
set
yeah,
a
you showed
timer
me
on
the
it.
first time. Yeah.
Yep. And I put a timer on it. And once that timer's up, I take a little break, put it back in there, set the timer again, and get back to work. So I found this on a Pinterest board. And I found this, I think it was like last week. I was like, this describes what I was going through perfectly to a T. And I was like, I need to print this out. I need to put this up so that right there next to my computer screen is that this reminder that I need to get to real work and not fake work. It's I think a lot of people try to get fake work done, thinking that they're making progress, thinking they wrote down their daily action plan, but
Yeah,
that
right.
doesn't mean anything if you're not doing it. You're
Yes,
reading the book, but it doesn't mean anything if you're not taking anything away from it.
yes.
So that's one thing I really try to stress to people is you can really think that you're doing something, but if you're not taking anything away from it, you're not doing anything. So
Yes, be very conscious, like about the real work and the fake work. I like that. I like that. It's like being busy and not doing anything. You are busy, but you're not going anywhere.
mhm,
And then you realize you are doing a lot of things during the day, and you get tired, and you feel stressed, and it's like, oh wow, I worked a lot today. But my question was productive? Did you get anywhere? And they're like, I don't think so. Well, you need to change strategy. That's mean it's not working, getting busy. Yeah.
yeah. That's why I always try to stress summarizing everything you do. If you read a book, summarize the book. Take away the key important things and summarize it. With the 48 laws of power, I took notes on that.
Yeah.
I wrote down the laws that I use in my daily life and that were personal to me. Not every single one, just the ones that were personal to me, and took notes on it and how I can apply that in my life and use those things to get to where I want to be at. So, you know, I give away books often. I usually will go on Amazon and buy books for people and give them to them. If it's somebody that I know who
That's
really wants to
amazing.
do something and change,
Yeah.
I will go and buy them books that I think that are really great books. Whether they read it or not is up to them. But uh, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's one book that I give away. The 48 Laws of Power. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Those are books that I give away to people. Especially your book too. I really loved your book, and he has a lot of great information in it and messages. So that's one book that I really want to start buying and giving to people to help them.
Thank you so much. I appreciate Sam. I really do. And by the way, the book is this one behind me. If anyone is looking, and you can find on Amazon, you just type my name, Selma Jacinto Domingos, and you will find the book and other different gifts. Sam, I just want to thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being here again. And thank you so much for sharing your story, your knowledge, your experience. And I always tell you how proud I am, from everything you do, your work, you are working hard, you are working smart, and you're really trying to make your life better and other people's, better life too. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that because I'm also the kind of person I love to inspire other people. I love to really help other people succeed and just see the right way to doing things and also giving hope, because sometimes we need someone to give us hope to say, hey, there is a better way of doing this, and you are doing this. Yeah, you are doing with a lot of people and a lot of friends, and just it's also so kind of you buying books to offer to someone and change their life. That's very kind of you. So I'm grateful for that too. And for you, our listener, if you want to learn more about Sam, so we have also other videos where Sam share um, his life and experience, and you can learn more here on my channel. You will see how amazing and empowered stories Sam has in his life and how he's trying really hard to be a better person, and you can benefit so much from Sam's story. And I also want to invite you to my one-on-one coaching where I will help you strategize to take action and transform your goals and dreams in a very action plan, in a very strategic action plan, so you can really achieve your goals and dreams and help you creating new habits and change your mindset, because sometimes we are so struggling, to keep with our plans and our goals, or sometimes we just don't know how an action plan really looks like. So I will help you create an action plan that works for you with the person you are. Your action plan doesn't need to be has mine or has a Sam or has another person, but needs to fit the person that you are. I help you with that. You can find more information here on my channel as well. And I want to thank you, for being here to listen. And please share, subscribe, share the channel with your friends, with your family, and keep in touch with us. And for more information, go to my website, selmajacintodomingos.com, or find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Instagram, and you can message me directly on Facebook if you need any help with your goals and action plan. And I'm here to help you. We are here to help you. So thank you so much, my friend. Have a beautiful day and take care of you, and see you soon. Bye-bye. Stay here.